Now we are going to see about dynamic routes. So dynamic route means we can match any dynamic URL segments with our route. So to create a dynamic route, so first I create a user route, and inside the user route I create a dynamic route as ID. So inside the ID we need to create our page.js. So now if I navigate to user/12 or user/anything, that will go to this route only. This is dynamic route. We can also get our dynamic ID by using the params. So this will get our and what the dynamic URL segment. So we can check this /user/1. So you can see ID. So in the console you can see the ID. So we can also make this here. Now you can see the ID. So what I put means that all things come in this area. So this is dynamic route. So the next one is we can catch all our routes. For example, I just remove this. So now inside our user we are going to catch all our routes. So for the syntax is we need to put square bracket and 3 dots and ID. Now inside this we create our page.js. So this also have params. So how this work means, if we are at the any random URL means it will show like the same, but it will show as array of. We can also have many URL segments. For example, /user/any URL segment, any random URL segment. All these are catched and it will display as an array. You can see all the route segments are displayed under the ID. So we need to match the name ID. So all these things comes under ID. But if we navigate to only/user, then it will show a 404. So to solve this problem, we can create a page.js under user, or we can create an optional catch all route. So for this we need to use again a square bracket. So square bracket, and inside square bracket and our dot ID, and again square bracket. So if we do means, then we can navigate to user also. We can navigate to any URL segment under user. That all will be catched. But if we navigate to only user, it will work, but the params is empty. So this is optionally catch all route. Also we can have a static params. For example, these all things are dynamic. So when the user enters the dynamic segment, then only this page will be created. But if you already know some default as URL segments, then we can create that pages around at the build time. So to do this, we need to create generateStaticParams function. So I create a new folder. So inside we have params. So we need to export a function, generate static params. So inside this function we need to return a array of objects. So what these objects means, these objects will be our dynamic segment. For example, id 1, then id 2. So for this 2 segment, our page will be created at the build time. So this will be generated when fastly when the user navigate to this 2 pages, that is /user/1 user/2. If you have a fetch method means, then we can fetch and return we can fetch. For example, we fetch a post. We fetch a post means, then we need to use async and we fetch. Then we get the data and we need to return a array as object. This will return a array of object, but the key will be our dynamic param id. Then we can return our post for what we data we get. So we need to return an array of object and the key will be id. This will match the id and we generate this at build time. So we can also do this for multi dynamic segment. So what this means inside the id I create another folder, that is user id, and inside the user id I create a page.js. So I just copy this and we are under the id and inside we have user id. So we have 2 dynamic routes. So under the last segment, last ref, we can return 2 dynamic segment params, right? Array of, we can return id 1 and comma user id 1. Then we can return another page id comma user id 2. So by this we returning the 2 dynamic params from generateStaticParams. So this is one method. Also we can do another thing is inside the id we have a layout, means we can return one set of params, and inside the child generateStaticParams we capture that and we destructure it, and with this param we can fetch anything and we return our last user id only. So you can refer dots for more information. generateStaticParams. So in this area you can see under the layout, under the category, they are returning the category, and inside the category and the product they are capturing the category as params in generateStaticParams. So this is optional parameter. This will work only when the parent generateStaticParams return some params and the child generateStaticParams need to capture it. So with the use of category we again fetch the product and we return the particular product. So this is also one method. We can return both the two under this product page, or we can return the category first and we with the use of category we get the category and we fetch and return the product. So there are 2 methods. So next we are going to see about loading and steaming. So loading and steaming is we just need to create a file. For example, I want to create loading for the whole segment, means I create loading under app. So the page is loading.js. so inside we have a loading page. So this will be shown when we are loading anything. We can also have loading pages for particular routes. So for example, under id I have a loading page. So this loading will be shown to this route only. So this is loading. And what the steaming means, steaming helps to easily break down our chunks and easily send from server to client. So this is a big process, but we are using React. So React uses suspense. So we can use suspense to make streaming our components from server to client. So how to use means, first we need to import the suspense from React. And if you have a component, that component will fetch data, and it is asynchronous component. It will get some time, means then we wrap that component inside our suspense. So other things React will handle. So React will break this part and it will send it sooner when the part is ready. So we can have a loading inside the suspense. So this is steaming works in Nest.js. You can also learn more about steaming in the documentation. So the same thing this they are saying. So first we need to use suspense for the components which have many time to prepare. So then React will make the other things. So when the components ready in the server, then that will be fetched and given to us. So how which component will come first means, that will handle by the server. For example, when the user navigates to particular component, means that will come first. Or when the component data loading will be clearer, means that will come first. For example, review and other components will come later. So that will handle by React. We just want to wrap suspense with our component which have higher data fetching and higher loading. So React will handle it. You can refer docs for more information.